Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice, brought to you by Photography is an Art, Harvey Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's new book, Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart. And author Larry Buford's book to the future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green, who says, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Roll it.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Do I look festive and Oscar? Better say yes.
I heard one person, Gail Murphy, who's a Los Angeles-based author, and she's also a celebrity interviewer. She said that movie types were scrambling to get tickets to tomorrow night's event.
Well.
And she said they were scrambling so big time that it was almost as though they had dug up Elvis.
Oh, that's...
Showbiz journalist Gail Murphy joins us now.
We're live to LA now, and the entertainment reporter Gail Murphy. And Gail, this is a US award ceremony, but there is a lot of British talent going to be there tonight.
You guys pulled out the big guns on this one, but I actually counted a few more Brits on the program. Archie Punjabi, who won Outstanding Supporting Actress in the drama The Good Wife. She gave a nod to her friend Angelina Jolie. They had both been in A Mighty Heart together, and she called her her inspiration.
The big Hollywood sign, it is in danger. The land around it is up for sale. We're going to go to showbiz journalist Gail Murphy. Time is running out to save the iconic landmark.
They were talking about taking the actual letters and turning them into a hotel.
Is there a serious belief that the sign could disappear and that houses could be built on the land around it?
No. You'll never guess who came riding in on the white horse with $900,000 in hand. And when I heard it was Hugh Hefner, what's in it for him?
Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest today is one of my longtime friends. You could say that she and I came up together. She's a renowned Hollywood correspondent, been and seen everywhere collecting information. She's done, are you ready for this? More than 15,000 interviews. Wow. We'll talk about that and much more. Please welcome Gail Murphy.
So nice to be here, Ron.
Gail, good to see you.
Look at
Always
you.
a pleasure.
You're
Always.
so successful now with this show.
Well, remember, you and I worked
So
together.
you're so
You taught
good.
me all the good stuff.
You know, I hear you open the show and it's like so throaty. And yes, you're watching my program.
You were my best critic.
I know.
You'd say, Ron, this was good, Ron. That wasn't. When we went to all them junkets and all the things we
That's
did over
true.
the years, you was there. I owe you a lot.
Yeah.
One thing I tell a lot of people, I teach broadcasting over at Santa Monica College.
Yes,
And
I spoke at your class.
Yes, I know you did.
Yeah.
And the people over there, they just don't understand. You're one person. You have to depend on other people to work with you.
Yes.
And if you got a funky attitude, they ain't gonna work with you.
You learn so much from other people. We learn so much from other people than we ever learn on our own.
Yes, ma'am.
We go kicking and screaming to change, but other people, we're like, I want that. And now I own it instantaneously because somebody else inspired you. So it's always important to have that skill set of being a little fly on the wall.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
also have a little shopping list with you at the same time.
Oh, yeah, we'll take care of that. By the way, I was thinking about something. Wouldn't it be nice if I walked down Hollywood Boulevard and looked down and see a star and it said, Gail Murphy?
As long as I spell it right, I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's G-A-Y-L.
G-A-Y-L, no E, babe.
No E's, no
Yeah.
E's. Okay, all
Well,
right.
thank you. You just pony up about 40 grand.
No,
maybe.
50 grand.
Remember when it was like 15?
Yeah, back when I got a star from Marvin Gaye, it was 25.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, the
yeah.
price goes up, cost of living. They got to keep an eye on Donald Trump's star most of the time, so that costs money.
Yeah, I heard they were going to move. I heard the city of West Hollywood was just going to have them move it all together because it was being consistently destroyed.
Yeah.
But I haven't stayed with the story because we're not covering it. yet.
Okay, so what is your latest project that you're covering these days?
Well, I'm just coming off the holidays, so it's hard to tell. But the roster of films coming up for the summer is really great. I'm loving this movie, The Late Show, which I thought was so good. Mindy Kaling. But that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of coaching right now. I
Good.
teach people how to survive the media without getting clobbered.
Now, these days, you do know how to do that. I
Yeah.
remember, what's the guy from CNN? He was was the head correspondent.
Acosta.
Acosta. He took his press kit
Yeah.
press credentials from him.
They
yeah.
pulled his press credentials, but he got them back.
Got him back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody, I ain't gonna mention his name in the White House.
Jim Acosta,
Don't mess
yeah.
with the First
Be
Amendment.
careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Go, Jim Acosta. Yeah.
I know all the award shows have ended, but what's it like for you out there right now? You said, and of course, every time when you're out there, because the viewers don't know, what's it like when you're out there on that red carpet?
Well, it's very competitive.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
competitive because everybody thinks that they're the only one that could actually bring the story home, or their question is, in fact, the most genius question of all.
Like a stupid question. Give me an example of a stupid question.
Well, my favorite stupid question is, what are you wearing?
Clothes, of course.
Because it doesn't help.
No,
You know,
no.
the thing that one must keep in mind if one is a broadcast journalist, of which I am, and I am a live broadcast journalist, is who is my audience, and how can I, as the purveyor of the story, I'm Paul Revere, right? I need to know how they take in information. And that way I serve them the best. So I had to decide very early on, what was my persona? What was it about me that we're going to make people listen to what I had to say and not just flip and click and flip and click and turn off? Is if they trusted me. So how do I get them to trust me? Well, if they see me as authentic, if they see me as honest, and if they see me as someone who has absolutely no stake in bullshitting you. That just and I'm as big a fan as you are. You know, I started in rock and roll, so my heart was in it easily, and so that's what I lead with when I tell a story.
Rock
What
and roll,
everybody else is telling is absolutely of no value to me, as long as I get the facts right.
Right. You said rock and roll. That means what? Supertramp? Remember those guys?
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah.
We'll talk about them in
You
just a
too.
I do
Robert
my
Plant,
homework.
Van Halen. Yeah, that was me.
You have a nickname in this town. I'm going to let you tell it what it is because you said it perfectly.
The celebritizer.
Celebritizer.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well, in 2000, when I decided to write my book, Interview Tactics: How to Survive the Media Without Getting Clobbered, I had been in the business for so long. I'd worked for ABC News for 20 years, and ABC got bought by Disney, and I decided that I could only work for news organizations. So I decided that I would go and work with BBC and Sky, and I have a wonderful relationship with them and have for the last 19 years. But I wanted to give back something that in some way someone could say I rocked their world. And so, as you know, we met so many people along the way who had such a great product, service, movie, CD, book, but were so unprepared to tell another person about exactly what it was in a way that I could use it or that you could use it, which would be sound bites and talking points, the language of the media and what it eats, right? And so I decided I would teach people how to survive me. And I wouldn't have to work so hard. It turned into a speaking and a coaching career, and the rest is history. So here's my book. I might as well plug it. You can buy it online or go to interviewtactics.com. And so I work with CEOs, showbiz pros, authors, experts, entrepreneurs, and I give them the very same interview skills, tactics, and techniques that some of the biggest superstars in business use to brand themselves or celebritize themselves. Yeah.
My picture's in there. You took it when we were on the junket one day over at the Four Seasons Hotel.
Yeah.
And over at Santa Monica College, I let people know about that book. It's not mandatory, but I do encourage them to get it because if you're going to be in this business, there are things you need to know what to do and when to do it.
Yeah.
Indeed. Let's go back for a little bit. You work for a lot of people wish that they could do your job, right?
Well, if they think they can. Have at it.
Go, girl.
Just saying. I started in rock and roll, so for the first 10 years I only covered music. And for me it was just a great way to do what I always wanted to do, was just be around the music. But it was also very different then, because even when I was working for ABC News, it was called ABC, it was ABC, and then it was ABC Cap Cities, and then it was ABC again. So it was still not a mom and pop organization, but it was still accessible.
Yes.
You could pick up the phone and talk to the DJs. You could pick up the phone and actually get involved with something that you were in. I started at K-Rock in Pasadena, and then I went to work for another. I started in this market and sustained in this market. So I started at K-Rock. I went to K-West, which was just like two brothers in St. Louis that owned 5 stations around the country. Now you can't buy an FCC license for less than $100 million.
Right.
So it like every other business that's been completely disrupted, certainly broadcast radio is. Although what's really interesting, and I know you hear it all the time, people say radio is dead, but according to Arbitron, 18 and over, 95% of the people listen to the radio at least a certain amount of hours on a weekly basis. And certainly with the earthquakes that we've had, it's KFW,
right.
we
And
turn
KNX
on,
radio, yeah.
KNX, and we listen and see what's happening.
Now, we mentioned an event that we used to do where the journalists get together at different locations. We see a lot of movies. We sit down and interview the stars. What is that I'm talking about?
Oh, that's a press junket, baby. That's a press junket,
Oh,
indeed.
yeah. Now, what's a typical junket like?
Well, I haven't been on a big one like that anymore, and the reason why is I do radio, and a lot of the studios do not invite radio entertainment reporters. They would rather go with mommy bloggers and daddy bloggers and online influencers. So being a school journalist and having been raised in newsrooms almost doesn't matter. They're looking for influencers and people that will say nice things about their film rather than talking to the talent and saying, listen, you said you would never do another horror movie. You said it 4 times already. What's gone? They don't want to hear that.
Yeah. New generations. Different generations.
Yeah. So it's mostly just kind of one-on-one stuff. I do a lot of interviews at TCA, the Television Critics Association.
TCA.
Yeah. Get a lot of stuff there. And for me, it doesn't really pay for me to cover press conferences because then it's already out there by the time I even start to work on it.
Okay.
What's the point?
Really?
Yeah. What's the point?
What advice would you give to someone who wants to get into this business?
Wow, it's funny when we ask that of celebrities all the time. Follow your dreams, follow your dreams. It's not about dreams, baby. It's about hard work. It's about a lot of rejection. You may not be the most talented, but you may have more followers, and they may decide to choose you over another actor or actress because you have a bigger presence online. And they are adding that to resumes now, which was completely unheard of. Right. Of course, there was no online social networking at that time, but now to use that as a criteria, it sounds kind of whack to me. I'm just saying, I want the most talented, but I get it. It's a business.
You're a good package. You look good. You sound good. You're very friendly. Like I said, there's several people in this town, in this business, who I really care for. You being one of them.
Oh, well, thank you.
George Pinocchio, a.k.a. Panach.
Who doesn't love George Pinocchio, right? Yeah.
I mean, we all have ego. We all have attitudes, but we can still work together.
Yeah.
We can be friends, have a good time, sit down and have a drink after a job, and go on and keep on going.
Well, it's interesting that you should say that because a lot of times you can catch the talent either, especially the way we did it, which was at hotels, and we was the same group of people consistently. They're not stupid.
No.
They know who is authentic, and they know who is a good guy and a good girl, and they know who's not there to just wreck everything or a shock jocks and that sort of stuff. I get it. We are there to cover the news, but I also think significantly we need to look at what is actually newsworthy, or am I inserting myself into the story?
That's right.
And that's one thing a legitimate reporter never does.
Right.
And not citing your sources.
Right.
Not citing your sources
Yeah.
and saying, oh, well, I read about it. Somebody on the internet wrote about it, so I thought it was good and I followed up.
Yes.
What? Did you check your sources? What's that? Sources?
Sources.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, yeah. I have a funny story when I did a lot of work on Michael Jackson when he passed away.
Yes.
And you know that the story was like 3 different stories all at once. There was the fact that he passed away, there was the circumstances around it, it was the doctor, and then it was people's reaction to it, and then it was the whole Staples Center thing. And it was just, I mean, I worked on that every day for 11 days. And I remember I was getting ready to go live. And I think it was AP, had said that he had passed away. But you can't just, and I'm watching them online at the same time, but you can't go unless you have 2.
Right.
3 is a gift, but 2, you can go on 2. And I'm on hold, and I'm on hold, and I'm on hold, and I must have been on hold about 7 or 8 minutes. And they said, we'll be with you in 15 seconds. Holy crap, what am I going to do? USA Today confirmed, like 2 seconds before we went live. That was so much anxiety
Yes.
for this blonde
But
girl.
you're a pro. You handle it like a pro.
Not necessarily. I got to tell you, not necessarily. I was a wreck.
Gail, you are too much. We have some photographs I'd like to show
Ah.
of you and some of the people that you run into in this business. Could you take a look at this guy right here?
Oh, Mr. Clooney.
Yes, George Clooney.
How great was he? You were there for the press junket
Oh,
when
yes.
he was Batman.
Oh,
and he
yes.
was like, if any of you ever do I'm Batman, you're done. And so 3 and 4 and 5 movies later, he'd walk in the room and go, you're Batman, right? He was the nicest man.
He was very nice fellow.
He's
Nice
the
fellow.
nicest man.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Next one.
Oh, Mr. Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, we need to pray for him right now at this time. He's got
Yes.
some liver problems.
Yeah, I got to
Yes.
tell you something. See that picture of me? Go back. If you can go back. Me and Stevie.
Yeah.
I was wearing regular glasses, not sunglasses, right?
Right.
It was a perfect photograph, but my eyes were like so wonky and weird. So I went into a fashion magazine and I just cut out a picture of sunglasses and just put them on there, so that it looked like we were both just trying to be cool. Otherwise, I would always look at that picture and not appreciate that it was me and Stevie. But I would just go, oh my God, my eyes were so weird.
Yes.
So I'm actually telling that story worldwide. Thanks a lot.
That's
Yeah.
okay. God bless you, Stevie. We wish you well.
Oh,
Wish you well.
that's me and that good-looking
Hey,
guy.
who's that people there? Those folks.
I'll tell you something. There you go.
That was the other show I used to do before we did this show.
Oh, Lily Tomlin.
Remember that lady who was there?
Oh, yeah.
What's her name? Not sure.
Pepper.
Pepper.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but let's talk about Lily Tomlin and how
Yes.
wonderful she is. Yeah, she was great. She's great. You know, she walks into a room and it's like, even if you've never even seen her or you don't even know who she is, it's like, well, here we are again. And very forthcoming, and she just is very grateful.
Yes, ma'am. Next
Mr.
one,
Harry
please.
Hamlin.
Harry Hamlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
JD. Yep.
You and JD, Johnny Depp.
I knew him before I was doing it, and before he was just a guitar player.
Right.
You know that song "Chucky's in Love"? Well, there's a
Yes.
real guy, Chuck, right? And he was my neighbor. And so Johnny would come over and they would play all the time. So when I interviewed him for Gilbert Grape, he went like this. He goes, you know me. I go, I do? He's like, yeah, you know me. I said, honey, let me tell you something. If I knew you, I would not be sitting here cross-armed going, I would know I know you. I said, do I know you through your wife or your girlfriend? No. He goes, I'm not answering any questions till you figure it out. And I was like, oh my God, you're Chucky's friend. Chucky Wise, you're the guitar player.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
Yeah.
Who's this handsome young man?
Mr. Cameron Crowe.
Cameron Crowe.
He was my neighbor right down the street here on Barham and Cahuenga.
Right.
That is at the Wax Museum.
Yes.
So that isn't even the real guy.
No, it's not.
No.
That's right. That's Murph and Wolverine.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Here's another
that's
one.
My days at KLOS. That was with Supertramp.
That's who it was. Super.
Yeah.
There you are on the right side there in the front row. That's you right there.
My perm.
Yeah.
And my perm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another one we did. We found.
That was at Staples Center, one of the
Yes.
days that I was covering Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah, Sky News is owned by the Murdoch organization, so I worked out of the Fox trucks.
Okay.
That's where I met first. That was the first time I met Shepard Smith, who is a big deal for me.
And who's next?
That's at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yes.
That's just ginger ale in my champagne glass. Sure. Yeah.
We remember when that event first started.
Yes, we were founding
We're
members.
founding
There
members,
were 9 of
yes,
us.
yes,
9 or 11.
something
yeah.
like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Now look how big it is. Now it used to
Oh.
do film, now it's TV and film.
You know, for the first 9 years, they would have the event for lunch at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
That's
and
right.
that was when Robin Williams ran up on stage and kissed Jack Nicholson in the mouth, on the mouth. It was just nutty. It was nutty. Yeah.
Good days.
And that's my book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about the book. What's in it? How can I get a copy of it? All that good
Well,
stuff.
you can go to interviewtactics.com, or you could go to gailmurphy.com, or
Okay.
you can go to pitchthemedia.com. All roads lead to Mecca.
Yeah.
Like I said, basically, I met so many people who had no idea how to even talk about, even like who they are. Like actors say to me all the time, I say, so what's the worst question you ever get asked for an audition? So tell me about yourself. I said, are you kidding me? That's the best question anyone can ask you, because you know the whole story, so you decide where it begins, where it ends. Obviously, if you are going on an audition where your character is a shrink or a veterinarian, and you were almost thinking of being a veterinarian when you were in college, or you've been going through therapy your whole life, you've got some way to personalize why you are there. Or if you are auditioning for a cowboy movie and you were raised on a ranch and you were around horses your whole life, you can talk about your first horse, Buttercup, from now until the cows come home.
Buttercup.
So something that sets you apart from anyone. So when you go out for an audition, see, they don't actually even meet you anymore. You don't actually even go in to read anymore.
Yeah.
It isn't until maybe I think they're down to the last 2 people, and you guys know what I'm saying, right? Until they're down to the last few people that you ever have any FaceTime with anyone, and then typically that's just somebody that's outsourced. I don't know. I'm not even sure at what point you actually meet the director after they decide who has the most amount of followers.
Right.
But you take this concept of why you're there and insert yourself in it from a genuine and an authentic way. Obviously, you can't do that if you've never ridden a horse in your whole life and you're scared of them. If it's, you don't want to tell them that either. But
No.
if it's something that's authentic to you in your life, and you can have a place saver there. For goodness sake, share your goodies. People are always so concerned about what is it that I'm supposed to say. Just make it succinct and concise, and prepare in advance.
Right.
That if you have an opportunity, go for it. Calm down. Use color and detail, names, dates, places, succinct, set the table so that you pique their interest.
Right.
If you have a meeting in an office, and you're in somebody's office, and they have a bunch of, let's say, Laker paraphernalia, and you have just been to the game the night before, it's like, hey, how about those Lakers?
Yeah.
Have to do something that humanizes you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this business, in so many ways, does so many things to dehumanize you. We want somebody that's like hit like this. So why don't you just cast this? Well, they can't afford them, so
afford
they
them.
have to have somebody else.
God, I can sit here for hours and talk about what you have to say.
Oh,
I got to get this one question in.
go ahead.
How do you want to be remembered?
Honest and real, genuine and grateful, and that I did a good job, and that I didn't screw up, and I didn't make it about me. Because at the end of the day, it's all about me anyway.
Hey.
Right?
Right.
I mean, I'm the only one in here, so.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
May I have your right hand, please?
Oh my, okay.
You going to get another one of these?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you a story about Ron Brewington. Mr. Brewington would sit there in the back of the room, and it was a long table like this, and he would sit at the end, and when the talent would leave, they'd go, "What is this guy coming up to me?" And he'd give him a silver dollar.
Yeah.
And they'd go, "Why?" He goes, "Well, that's just who I am." Right. So this happened a couple of times with Russell Crowe.
Oh, yes.
And then so I guess you figured you'd given him enough money at that point. He wouldn't leave till Ron gave him another one.
Steven Spielberg, so many people over the years when we worked with, yes.
Yeah.
I always tell them, I said, this is your first dollar in your movie. That's how it started. And,
yeah.
Really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Lady, thank you very much for stopping by today.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Oh, these are great.
Yeah, well, anything for these things.
I want to thank all the little people that I stepped on to get here. They were so important in my career.
Murphy, you're too much.
Yeah, you sort of kind of almost like me. Thank you. Thank you. Like my book better, okay?
Get the book.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Oh, Ron, it was a pleasure.
Made my day.
Thank you.
You and the next person, we're going to talk about it. This past week, I had a chance to interview documentary director Sophie Huber about her new film, Blue Note Records, Beyond the Notes. Now, here's what she said inspired her to do the documentary.
I made a documentary about Harry Dean Stanton, the actor, and it became a music film, so I was looking for a record label to put out the soundtrack. And I was introduced to Don Wallace, the president of Blue Note, and to make a long story short, he asked if I would like to do this, and I very much did want to do this, and went to Switzerland to make sure it's independent film and funded through Swiss federal funds, so here it is. It's the 80th anniversary this year, and the film is opening at Lemle Glendale on July 5th. So please come. We're doing special screenings that whole weekend. So come show up. It's amazing in the big theater, because of the sound and everything.
How about the people who you profile in this film? Have they seen it yet?
Yeah.
And what's the reaction?
And they love it. Tonight we have Terrace Martin, who plays a pivotal role in the film and in bringing jazz and hip hop together. He's here tonight, and the artists have been very supportive.
Okay. The advice that you would give to people who are doing a documentary film, what would that be?
Be passionate about what you do. Don't care about the money, and do something that is where you can speak from your heart.
What's your next project?
I don't know. It's still promoting this, and once it's out into the world and people have spread the word, then I can think about something.
Now, that was film documentary director Sophie Huber. She says it was an exhilarating and emotional journey behind the scenes of Blue Note Records, the pioneering label that gave voice to some of the finest jazz artists of the 20th and 21st century. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. The studio of Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey has been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So, please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on The Actor's Choice. Haiku, style, passion, heart. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. The book was inspired by the author's first exposure to haiku well over a half-century ago. Now, this experience produced within him a deep passion to experience Asia, which he later did as a U.S. Marine. The book is available in paperback at lulu.com. Now, Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and the Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a new book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon, so please get your copy today. And now a word from State Farm agent Carla Green.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
Thanks, Carla. And just like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. For more information, 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. Now, as you know, we are currently, and when I say we, that's the show that we do, The Actor's Choice. We're currently running a chance to win a pair of ticks to sum up blockbuster films. So please check out our website located at www.theactorschoicela.org. Again, that's www.theactorschoicela.org. Please stay with us because we are The Actor's Choice. And finally, if you have a product, a service, or upcoming event and that you'd like seen advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very, very affordable. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it.
Jack Larson?
Oh my God. You look just like her.
Who?
Your mother. Thank you for responding to my Facebook page. I'm not too internet savvy. My son did most of the work. Please, would you like a drink?
Sure.
Anything you want. It's on me.
A Zinfandel, please.
That's what she used to drink. That and martinis, and quite a lot of them.
Forgive me, Mr. Larson, but I was just...
Oh, Jack. Call me Jack.
Jack, the message you left me just sounded so cryptic. I didn't know what to make of it. Why did you need to see me so urgently?
I've wanted to do this for quite some time.
What? Do what?
This, meeting you.
Okay. Are you crying? Are you upset or something?
If I could say one thing to the youth of today, it would be carpe diem. Seize the moment. Don't live.
Our next guest is a storyteller, a writer, a producer, a director, and an actor. He started in 1994 as an actor. From there, he has gone to many projects that he has directed and produced, like Pillow Talk, which you just saw. That has given him some top movies. He's also the son of legendary actor and Academy Award winner Louis Gossett Jr. Please welcome Sati Gossett.
Pleasure, sir. Thanks for having me.
Say your father's name. There's a picture of him right there. Oh, I thank him so much for so many things he's done. You were just talking about it. As you know, I wear this pin because I'm a double prostate cancer survivor. Your father had that also.
Yes, he also had kidney cancer, and he dealt with losing a kidney as well. But he's fighting a good fight, and he's still doing his thing and, making moves and changing the world one day at a time. So
give him my best, please, and thank him. I remember when he went to the United States Congress and testified to tell them to get those people to get off your butts and do something for the people who have prostate cancer. Yeah, definitely. As an actor, your first role that you had was, you got your first IMDb credit was in 1994 for a TV series, Erotic Confessions. It's one of those days. Confessions. Tell us about it.
Well, it was one of those kind of central casting things. I was offered the summer from college. I went to Syracuse.
Syracuse University?
Yeah.
Good school?
The big orange, the orange icy.
Yes.
Or I call it Zero Q's because, man, it's cold up there. But, so the favor was like, hey, we need some people to set it. And it was one of those Red Shoe Diary pieces, where I was like in a pool hall with the main actors. And we had to pretend we were playing pool in the background. We had like one line, and the main actors were cavorting on the pool table. But, you get your credits where you get your credits, and whenever you get a chance to be on set, you take that opportunity.
Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. Now, you've been around a lot of folks because of the people that you grew up with. Who's some of the people that inspired you?
People that inspired me? Well, obviously my dad.
Obviously.
Sidney Poitier. I mean, thinking back, my growing up was felt kind of very like Forrest Gumpish with the people that would come into our path. And it was like me growing up, it was regular because I grew up, majority in Malibu, but I also grew up in Hancock Park off of 8th and Longwood. And, Muhammad Ali would come over. He's my godfather. And he would come over, and I would hate it when he would come over. Because you know why? Because he'd always want a shadow box. And so I'd hear, Muhammad's over, and I'd be hiding in my room, and then I'd hear bellowing from downstairs, come down here, boy, come get your whooping. And I'm like, so I'd come downstairs, and he'd be like, doing the shadow box, and one would always slip and hit me in the ribs, and it's Muhammad Ali hitting, so it's not like regular, so it's like, pow, and then I had to like, how you doing? And then I'd kind of limp away. Or Marvin Gaye would come over, or Marvin Gaye and his family, Nona and
Bubby.
Yes. And who else? Holly Robinson was my babysitter.
All right.
Richard Pryor used to come over.
Richard Pryor.
Sydney. It was a who's who.
Yes.
The people that would come over. The woman, I don't know if you believe in conspiracy theories, but Sophia Stewart, the woman who wrote The Matrix and The Terminator.
Okay.
She was my nanny for a minute.
Wow.
So it was that type of thing, So all these people, being around this type of greatness was, I won't say it was regular to me, but it was regular, And it was all inspiring because it felt like if they could do it, then I could do it.
Right.
Like if your family is a plumber, chances are you're probably going to be a plumber too.
Thank you.
So it just felt like it was inevitable that I would be in show business in some form or fashion.
1998, you were on the production staff of the popular TV series Everybody Loves Raymond.
That's correct. Yeah, I was a set PA across the street. The stint didn't last too long, but it was a fun experience. Yep. It's funny. Turns out the other office PA was a guy named Aaron Korsh, and we played basketball together. But he started PAing a little later in life. He started out on Wall Street, then he continued writing, and he created a show called Suits.
Yes.
And so it's just funny how when you're working in this business, you never know who's going to take off, when, and where.
Right.
And
that was good because I have an expression when I call it 3 E's: education, exposure, and experience. You were getting all three while you were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. And one could say that helped you make a decision between being an actor or being a director.
Yes, that's true. Like in probably like the late 90s, 2000s, I started taking acting classes. I started out with Aaron Spicer, and he was known to have discovered J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, and you come into class and you see people like LL Cool J and the Wayans brothers and a bevy of Playboy models and stuff like that. They were trying to get their shot going, and I go on stage and trying to figure it out, and to some success, but most of the times you crash and burn, and you learn and dust yourself off, and but that acting experience was invaluable because I learned, we read Uta Hagen and method acting and just all these different techniques. And that kind of gave me an insight which would lead me later on to life working with actors as a director and also as a writer. What actors need and don't need to succeed to get to where they need to go.
Okay. 2005, you got an acting role on the comedy drama Crush.
Well, Crush is near and dear to my heart because there was a buddy of mine, Topher Strauss. We went to college together, and we both came out here to do the Hollywood thing. And he wrote Crush because he's an irreverent dude, and he said, "Hey, can you be in this piece for me?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And I had a little bit cameo part where I played this guy trying out inflatable furniture, and Topher, Crush was basically his own vehicle about a guy trying to figure things out in life. And I was one of the wacky friends.
Wow.
Yeah. Topher is actually an up-and-coming artist out of Denver, Colorado now, so look out for him.
You keep in touch?
Yeah, we talk. We talk a couple times a month.
That's
and
good.
Topher Strauss, look out, remember the name.
Right. Like we said with Gail, this is who you know.
It's who you know.
Right.
It's all, this business is very relationship-based.
Yes.
More so almost than others because of the exposure.
Gotcha.
And you never know if you're getting someone a coffee, who that person's going to be in 5 years.
That's right.
So on and so forth. So you can't burn any bridges.
Nope. Don't do that.
At all. I mean, we were talking in the green room about a certain person who was persona non grata, and now they won't take any calls.
Right. Yeah.
But, Tom Hanks said that Hollywood and money makes you more of what you already are.
Amen.
And,
Amen. How do you describe the Sati Gossett style as a director? Everybody's got their style.
Everyone's style. What's been described to me is everything from, I don't know if you know Bukowski.
Okay, the name?
The Bukowski, the author.
Kind
of irreverent. Kind of the black Bukowski, black Woody Allen.
Okay.
Just an irreverent style, a little left of center.
Okay.
Which is different, especially being an African American, because I find that the African American experience in filmmaker, their platform is always a place of I don't want to say pain, but it comes from a very heavy place, or from a very kind of totally comedy out there place. There's like no middle. There's like no nuance. No disrespect to people like Tyler Perry, where you got Medea, where that's very just out there, or like a Spike Lee, where there's a ton of gravitas. Yeah. But African Americans have levels, and we need the ability to express those levels.
Right.
To be fully formed people. So if I have a chance to show people of color that we're actually regular people, and we have lives, and we have some type of neuroses, and it's okay, and it doesn't have to be buttressed against like violence or sexuality or racism. I'm going to try and do that.
Right.
Because that's how I grew up.
Right. Because we're always portrayed as either shooting, killing, or something like that. Let's do something with some art to us, with some education things to it.
Yeah. Right. Or it's okay to question ourselves and our identity, and if I get a chance to do that, we can do that.
Right. Okay. Because you are a Gossett, how much pressure does that put on you?
Well, it's something. I guess it's a double-edged sword, because starting out, as a Gossett, you go into interviews and stuff, and it's like, well, your father's Lou Gossett, why should he help you?
Right.
And nepotism has worked in some ways, and it has hurt.
Yeah.
And he's been in a couple of my films. He did voiceover for one film, and then he had a little featured role in another film. But I've always tried to take steps to try and be independent of that.
Yeah.
And it's tough enough to make it in the business as a person trying to make a name for themselves, but then you also have the legacy too. It could be a double-edged sword. It could be twice as hard.
Yes.
I grew up with a lot of people, like Jane Fonda's son, Troy Garrity, Jake Busey, the Pointer Sisters kids, Ronnie Law's kids.
Yeah.
I grew up with a lot of those people, and some are doing okay, and some are not.
Yeah.
It's all perspective. It's all context.
Gotcha. You did another acting role in 2005 and one in 2006, but then in 2012 you did your first directing job in a movie called Pillow Talk, which we just saw.
Yes.
Have you heard that title before, sir?
Well, yes, the Doors Day piece.
Yes.
But it's totally dependent of that, if I'm saying it right. Pillow Talk, because I made it in 2010. It didn't get out till 2012. The whole premise of that was, instead of waiting for someone to get hired, I needed to do my own thing and branch out and just be proactive. So I wrote this film, and it's basically about you have to seize the moment or you're going to live with regret.
Thank you.
And end up like this dude in the film. The girl, Samantha Lockwood, she was in my acting class.
Okay.
She's the daughter of Gary Lockwood, who was in 2001. And Ron was a friend of hers. And, again, this business is all relationship based. And so I just kind of coalesced all my friends. And a friend of mine gave us money. We found an Elks Lodge in Hermosa Beach, which we used as the bar.
All right.
And we shot it in one night with 2 cameras, and we banged it out. And it's the whole old adage, work begets work.
Yeah.
So you show you're competent in putting one piece together. So the next thing kind of came, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and I ended up making a short film a year.
Wow. What's your favorite spot when you're on a set?
Favorite spot on the set? Well, I said to you the craft service table, but
hello, craft services.
but it's actually when the camera's rolling and you see the actors in their moment. I've caught myself a couple times when the scene is done, just watching the mise en scene and the actors doing their thing, and it's like, you gotta say cut. Oh, cut. Yeah, that's great. Let's do it again.
2013, you had a movie come out called Jew Tholik, Final Cut. Again, you're the director. And what do you recall most about that film?
Well, Jew Tholik was a collaboration with a high school friend of mine named Beate Antares. And she is a comedy writer. It was her story. She brought me in to help co-write it and punch up the jokes and stuff like that. And her journey was, she grew up Catholic, and then her grandmother, she's from Poland. She went to Poland, and her grandma on her deathbed said, "Oh, by the way, you're Jewish." And so she created this story. And then, about a girl, she finds out she's Jewish, and so she's trying to make her way and wrestle with her religious identity. And she's singing spirits, and we have Deep Roy in there who plays Indian Mormon, and we have these 2 twins in there kind of helping her, guide her. And I don't know if you watched the whole piece, but I play a mirage of Black Jesus with a leaf blower. Which is
who was your narrator?
My narrator was my dad,
Louis
Gossett, and he added some definite gravitas to the piece, and that was a fun kind of irreverent comedy. We say, "Oh, oops, sorry about that joke, but whatever."
We want to roll a little bit of it to show what people see in this movie.
All right.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 3 days since my last confession. Well, I think we need to break up. I don't think this is working out anymore. Not you and me, just this.
This, this, have a break.
Well, okay, Father, I think I'm going to take some time, sow my religious oats, go on a mental pilgrimage, just figure things out.
Corn early.
Marie often used her faith and upbringing as her only security blanket. But what was about to come would challenge all that she knew and believed in.
Aw, I miss Mom.
What is that, some sort of stuffed animal with batteries? He's a rodent.
He's my therapy dog, not a St. Bernard.
A little brandy barrel on the guy'd be kind of cool looking, though.
Well, it's not Mother's Day, and it's not Mother's birthday. What's the occasion?
Since your mother's passing, I've been debating on telling you something that's pretty serious.
What is it, then?
Okay, listen. This blows chunks.
Tell me quickly, like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Your mom, that you think is your mom, is not your mom. Not your real mom. And your real mom is this other mom. So you actually have 2 moms.
Wow. Excellent work. Excellent work. I can see that style. You can see your name all over it, man. You do good work. Then in 2016, you did a movie that a lot of us really enjoyed. I remember Sandra Evers Manley, and a lot of us I think she got involved in this. Forgiveness.
Yes. It's interesting, how much of your art is inspired by real life.
Thank you.
I wrote Forgiveness, like when George W. was in office, and he was being George W. And my eldest son was probably like 7 or 8 at the time. We were having a conversation about slavery, and you know how kids are. They come up with the darndest questions. It's like, has the president ever apologized for slavery? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And the kid's like, well, he should. And then my wife was like, well, you should write about it. And so I wrote this piece about this kind of upstart young man who writes an essay to the president, and it somehow makes it to him, and now he's charged with following through with this kid's wish of apologizing for slavery.
Wow.
And I wrote it, but I didn't know what to do with it. I said, well, how am I going to get the Oval Office? And so I put it in a drawer. And then in 2010, I made Pillow Talk and Jutalik, and I did an iPhone film, which went to Cannes as well. And then I did a movie called Beautiful Thorn. Then I did 10 Minutes with Glenn Plummer and my dad. That went to Cannes too. They both went to Cannes at the same time. And then I did Forgiveness.
At the Cannes Film Festival.
At the Cannes Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And because of 10 Minutes, Sandra stepped in and said, hey, we want to help you do your next one. And that was Forgiveness. And so I dusted it off, and it all came together pretty quickly, and we shot it, and we entered it for Oscar consideration. I don't know, you came to the West Side Pavilion when we screened it there.
Yes, I was there.
And it sold out every show.
Every show, yes.
Which was amazing. And unfortunately, it didn't make the cut, but, it got a nice write-up in the Huffington Post.
Yes.
We screened it at the Congressional Black Caucus with Maxine Waters. And it won a bunch of awards on the festival circuit, and Sandra is streaming it on her new service.
Excellent.
And at my school, I teach at Maya Angelou Community High School in South Central LA. We just had this huge mural festival. Over 30 muralists came, including Shepard Fairey, who did the Obama piece. There was a gentleman there who said, hey, we need to submit this to a production company to get it turned into a feature. Another woman has a relationship with the African American Museum in D.C. It's like, we want to submit this to the museum in D.C. So, from their lips to God's ears, you never know what's going to happen next.
Because Lonnie Bunch he has that job. He just moved to a bigger job instead of just the museum only. He's in charge of all the museums.
Okay, well, talk to him too.
Yeah, Lonnie Bunch, good man.
But and so that's how it came to pass.
Wow. It's interesting that today's a news story, slave reparation, 40 acres and a mule, is happening right now. A lot of people talking about that. Interesting.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, people, want to talk about 45 and, what a this, that, and the other thing he is. But like my dad says, what he's doing is bringing America's ills to the light, so they have to be addressed.
Good words.
You can't hide behind it, And we have to have those conversations that we've been ducking and people have been profiting on for centuries.
Yes.
In our art and our media. And more importantly, our voice is being heard. Social media,
Yes.
Like, this is not okay. Me Too movement. It is not okay to do this to women. It is not okay to do this to black people. It's not okay for police to treat you in a certain way. I mean, and it has to be addressed. And we need to use our voice to make change. So if Trump is the catalyst for that change, then he truly is making America great in the way it needs to be great.
Got you.
So that's what I have to say. And our art needs to continue to reflect that change.
Yes. Yes.
Not where they think we should be, but where we need to be. Like when I try and do my work, I try and show people where I think they need to go instead of where they are. I mean, a lot of African American art is showing our pain because we need to remember, but we also need to move forward too. Because if we stay back in the past, that's where we're always going to be.
Right.
How
do you want to be remembered, friend?
I don't mind. Well, I mean, legacy. Being an original voice. Carrying on. What my father did. Yes. Because he was a trailblazer himself, and on his shoulders that I stand, and everyone else of color, and artists that that always made a difference to me. I teach film at Maya Angelou, and I always tell the kids, you never know which one of you are going to change the world. You just got to have the courage to do it.
That's right.
Get your head out of your phone.
Yeah.
Right from your heart.
Got you.
You never know who's going to see it.
Right.
And Make sure you give your teacher the credit. No, I'm just kidding.
May I have your right hand, please?
Sure.
Of course, you'll give
Oh,
me.
is this going to fit in the meter? This is a little big.
Hold on to that for good luck. I've given you some of those over the years.
Right.
Definitely.
Thank you. This will be my first dollar in Hollywood. I'll remember this. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, an honor and a pleasure. Thank you. And please tell your father thank you for what he's done. For
Definitely.
prostate cancer. Thank you. Thank you.
Will do.
Special thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Haiku Style, Passion, Heart, Larry Buford's Books of the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm agent Carla Green. Much thanks to our guests today, Hollywood correspondent Gail Murphy, producer-director Sati Gossett, and documentary director Sophia Kuba. Please come on back again. We'd love to have you back again. And, of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. We say, be well, and we'll see you again next time.